Swithland Viaduct is a railway viaduct in Leicestershire that carries the former Great Central Main Line over Swithland Reservoir. It is unusual in that it carries the line over a reservoir rather than a valley. It actually consists of two separate viaducts, with an embankment over Brazil Island in the center of the reservoir. 349 and 350 were constructed by Messrs. John Aird and Sons, as a subcontract to Henry Lovatt and Co. Lovatts were contracted to the Great Central to execute contract number 2 on their extension line to London, Eastleigh to Aylestone, but the Corporation of Leicester insisted that those portions of the work that could delay or hinder the completion of their new water works at Swithland were to be executed by the main contractors for that job. The South Viaduct has a skew girder section approximately halfway along its length, this having been provided to bridge the weir which separates the reservoir into two unequal portions. As of September 2015, extensive maintenance work is being carried out on this span in order to replace wasted plates within the girders, and this work is expected to carry on until the end of the year. Originally, the lineside telegraph wires were carried along the eastern wall of the viaduct on wooden trunking, except where they were carried over the previously mentioned iron girder span in structure 350. A telegraph pole, sat on top of the masonry of the parapet wall and guyed appropriately, was provided a short distance from each end of the span, and the circuits were then carried over the span between the two poles. Although little sign of these poles remains from on top of the viaduct, the remains of the guying on the exterior of the parapet wall can still be clearly seen from the reservoir. As part of the resinalling of much of the GCML, carried out in the early 1940s by Westinghouse to increase capacity, cable hangers were installed on the western walls of the viaducts, and the new lineside signaling and power cables required by the work were strung along them. This cable route was restored to work, albeit with new cables, during the recent resinalling of Swithland sidings. As part of the same scheme, a pair of mechanical signals, Swithland sidings up inner distant and up outer home, was installed on Brazil Island, between the two viaducts. Photography may be undertaken from the south from Main Street, or at very long range from the dam which carries Kinchley Lane. If one has a lineside permit, one can walk south from Quorn and photograph trains coming north off the viaduct. The best location is probably from the east at Kinchley Hill, but there is no public access there, the land is owned by Severn Trent.